There are dinosaurs buried in New York City's Central Park. But they're not your typical 100-million-year-old fossils. They're made out of cement, wire, stone, and clay, and they were buried less than 200 years ago in 1871. These remains are the smashed-up pieces of life-size models that were built for the Paleozoic Museum, a Central Park exhibit that was planned but never opened. So who issued the order to smash up these priceless replicas? To find out the answer, we'll have to meet the man who created them, Benjamin Waterhouse Hawkins. In the mid-1800s, very few people knew anything about dinosaurs. The term dinosaur had only been in use for less than 10 years. But Benjamin, an English sculptor and natural history artist, set out to change all that. In 1851, he created dozens of life-sized, scientifically accurate, for the time, dinosaur models, which he placed in the Crystal Palace Park in South London. His exhibit was a hit. On the opening day, 40,000 visitors flocked to the park to see it. In fact, his Crystal Palace models are still on display today. After his success in England, Benjamin received a commission in 1868 to complete an even more ambitious dinosaur replica project in New York City. City officials planned to showcase his show-stopping models in the Paleozoic Museum, a project that was intended to be the United States' first ever dinosaur museum. Benjamin soon began working on life-size models of North America's prehistoric creatures, from the Hadrosaurus, a duck-billed Cretaceous herbivore, to a giant Ice Age deer that would have dwarfed a modern elk. When sketches of Benjamin's in-progress models were featured in newspapers, the public quickly caught dinosaur fever, and the Paleozoic Museum was expected to be a big success. But there was one problem. In May 1870, a corrupt politician named William McGeer Tweed, better known as Boss Tweed, fired the administrative leaders of Central Park who had hired Benjamin and replaced them with two of his underlings. Soon after Boss executed this leadership change, the Paleozoic Museum was canceled, and a few months after that, Benjamin's models were destroyed. For over a century, Boss Tweed was thought to be the one who ordered their smashing, since he clearly had a hand in the Paleozoic Museum incident and was known as a troublemaker by leaders of other New York City programs. But new evidence proved that the real villain was the Central Park treasurer that Boss hired, Henry Hilton. In his role as a treasurer, he issued the order to cancel the Paleozoic Museum, and in the minutes from a May 1871 meeting, it is stated that the old barn, shed, and structures at that place are to be removed under the direction of the treasurer. Some say that the sledge-hammered remains of Benjamin's dinosaurs were dumped into Central Park's pond, and others claim that they were buried in a mound in the park itself, but despite numerous dredgings of the pond and searches through the park, no signs of models have ever been found. So it turns out that the villain behind the demise of the Paleozoic Museum dinosaurs wasn't Boss Tweed, the corrupt politician. It was Henry Hilton, the Central Park treasurer, who he hired. Case closed.